From Havana, Cuba, the largest island in the Caribbean, the only socialist country in the Western Hemisphere, a country that is shrouded in mystery, so we're going to dive into some interesting topics. Now just behind me is a statue of Jose Marti. The statue depicts Jose Marti holding a child and is literally pointing in the direction of the US Embassy. And what some older Cubans would say is that the statue is literally making a mockery or blaming the United States for the social economic problems that Cuba is facing in this moment. But we're not going to dive into that information. We're going to take a little walk along the Malecón and we're going to observe how these people, or how the Cubans live. This place is called the Malecón. Malecón basically is the seafront that runs for approximately 7 miles all the way from Havana Vieja to another community called Vedado. That borders the Russian development. This wall was built in the early 1900s. And it's a bit of a controversial place. However, it's a place where a lot of Cubans, tourists, families, whoever it might be, they would come and enjoy the sunset, sunrise. And you would see a lot of things, activities like family picnics, couples making out with each other, or even a lot of fishermen that come here. They would toss their lines just to earn a living in Cuba. As most of you guys know, Cuba is famous for that Cuban cigars. I'm yet to try one. It's also known for its old architectural buildings and its cheap rum, beautiful beaches. Cuba has a lot of salsa music. So if you come here, you're gonna have a good time. No wonder why there are a lot of tourists coming to Cuban shores every single year. In fact, Cuba depends highly, or depends a lot on tourism. One of the interesting things is that Cuba would have been the largest exporter of sugar at one time. Now there are other countries that keep competing for that particular #1 spot. And just behind me, that is the infamous Hotel Nacional de Cuba. That too was also built in the early 1900s, and it was supposed to show Cuba's potential. Now, there's a lot of mysteries and there are a lot of controversial stories that comes with that hotel. But what I can say, it has housed some famous people like Frank Sinatra, US Kennedy, Jimmy Carter, among some other famous names. However, what is most controversial about it is that it is alleged that the Italian mafia once resided here. It was like their base of operation, where they would have controlled some of the economic resources of Cuba. I would assume that would have been gambling, that would have been prostitution, and all kind of other crazy things that we're yet to discuss. But I'm taking a risk simply talking about this, making a video. So I'm just gonna walk. It's 7 kilometers. I'm not gonna walk the entire thing, but we're gonna see if we can find some couples and some fishermen and just enjoy the beautiful scenery of the Malecón. Now, Cuba is a relatively safe place. You wouldn't find any time of robberies or gun-related violence because I think basically there aren't any guns on the streets. I think it's safe to say that. So tourists can walk here at night. I mean, I'm still not saying that you should do that, but it's less likely that you're going to get robbed in Cuba. That is one good thing. All those vintage cars that everyone sees on the TV, that's definitely Cuba. Sometimes you can probably mount yourself up in one of those vehicles for a small cost, maybe about 30 euros for about 45 minutes. And these guys are going to take you throughout the city, mainly in Havana Vieja, which is the more touristic destination of Cuba. And from there, they're going to give you a little history lesson. We're going to talk about a lot of interesting things. But for now, this is just me. Unfortunately, it's a little bit overcast right now, so perhaps actually I'm already feeling a little bit of the rain as it blows in from the north, which is quite strange. But another interesting fact about the Malecón, from this particular point, it's only 90 nautical miles from the coast of Florida. So this is why a lot of Cubans, if you didn't know, would make that journey, or try to make that journey, that risk, to touch the shores of the United States. What is also worth mentioning is that Jose Marti is one of those important revolutionary figures of the past. Not during the time of Fidel Castro, but more the time of the Spanish occupation of Cuba. He and some other guys like Antonio Maceo and Maximo Gomez, they were very influential in the uprising against the Spanish rule. Unfortunately, Jose Marti met his demise in his very first battle. Some would say he was never even a warrior, but he was an intellect. But it is what it is. I think we're not seeing much people right now because the rain is about to come down and no one wants to get wet. Everyone wants to stay inside. And I guess that from this point on is where we will find the fishermen. There are close to about 50 fishermen here with poles trying to catch or make their daily catch. I'm not sure how successful it would be if all of them are in the same spot, but I guess it's probably lucrative for them. What an interesting sight. So many men coming out, tossing their lines, trying to make a living. You want to know how I know that? Because I asked. Most of the times it's not for food. Most of the times it's the whatever daily catch they get. They would go and sell it to the hotels. And then tourists would come, obviously. And perhaps they might want fried fish or something nice. Let me see if I can go talk to this mister. Hola, señor. ¿Puedo filmar tu pescado? Gracias. ¿Eso para cocinar para tu familia o? Cocinar, sí. Ah. Gracias. Right, so I think I've covered the vast majority of the Malecón. It's literally 7 kilometers. I'm not going to walk all that. We have seen the fishermen, we have seen 1 or 2 couples. We haven't seen any families, mostly because it's about to rain and everyone wants to stay inside. These fishermen are still going to be out because it's what they're depending on, whether it be to feed their family or to sell. Anyways, stay tuned. We're going to check out another site in Cuba and try to see what other interesting things we could find.